David Kolb is an American Emeritus Professor of Organisational Behaviour. He is a learning specialist, and he developed the Experiential Learning model, also called Kolb's learning cycle. The model was published in the book Experiential Learning in 1984. The model provides an insight into how individuals learn. The model contains different learning styles. You need to understand learning styles so that, if you are coaching or mentoring others, you set out the purpose of the learning to be conducive to the individuals and their abilities to absorb information. You can use this understanding of learning styles every time you need staff or individuals to understand and perform new tasks. The model reflects the way we learn from our experiences and thus supports the lifelong learning concept. The learning style preference itself is the product of two pairs of variables, or two separate choices that we make, which Kolb presented as lines of an axis, each with conflicting modes at either end. The horizontal axis, called the processing continuum axis, deals with our approach to a task. On the left side of the axis, we are active, we are doing. On the right side of the axis, we are passive, we are watching. The vertical axis, called the perception continuum axis, deals with our emotional responses. At the bottom of the axis, we have an abstract approach, we are thinking. At the top of the axis, we have a concrete approach, we are feeling. The model consists of two dimensions. The first dimension is 4 elements of learning placed in a circle. Each element is located at the end of either the horizontal axis or the vertical axis. The second dimension is 4 learning styles. They are part of the circle and directly connected to the horizontal axis and the vertical axis in the model. Each learning style is located in a different quadrant of the cycle of learning. We will review one dimension at a time. The first review is the core of the model, consisting of 4 learning elements placed in a circle. The circle is read clockwise. The first element is concrete experience. It is about being involved in an experience. The learners are learning from specific experiences and relating to people. They are sensitive to others' feelings. The second element is reflective observation. It is about passive watching of others or developing observations about one's own experience. The learners are observing before making a judgment by viewing the environment from different perspectives. They are looking for the meaning of things. The third is called abstract conceptualisation. It is about creating theories or new concepts to explain the observation. It is about logical analysis of ideas and acting on the intellectual understanding of a situation. The learners are thinking. The fourth and last element is called active experimentation. It is about using new theories or concepts to solve problems, make decisions. It is about the ability to get things done by influencing people and events through action. Learners get things done and accept risk-taking. The 4 elements are placed in a circle, a spiral of learning, which can begin with any of the 4 elements, but it will typically begin with a concrete experience. The model shows the process of learning. This concludes our review of the first dimension's 4 elements of learning. Now we shall take a look at the second dimension, the 4 learning styles. From the 2x2 statements on the 2 axes, the combination of the 4 different learning styles emerge. The Diverger is placed in the upper right corner of the model and is a combination of passive and concrete. The Diverger emphasizes the innovative and imaginative approach to doing things, views concrete situations from many perspectives, and adapts by observation rather than by action. Interested in people and tends to be feeling-oriented. Like such activities as cooperative groups and brainstorming. The Assimilator is placed in the lower right corner of the model and is a combination of passive and abstract. The Assimilator pulls several different observations and thoughts into an integrated whole, likes to reason inductively and create models and theories, likes to design projects and experiments. The Converger is placed in the lower left corner of the model and is a combination of active and abstract. The Converger emphasizes the practical application of ideas and solving problems, likes to be involved in decision-making and problem-solving ideas. A Converger prefers technical problems over interpersonal issues. The Accommodator is placed in the upper left corner of the model and combines active and concrete, uses trial and error rather than thought and reflection, good at adapting to changing circumstances, solves problems in an intuitive trial and error manner such as discovery learning. An accommodator tends to be at ease with people. Having now reviewed the second dimension of the model, we're going to examine the relationship between the two dimensions in the next section. The Diverger is placed between concrete experience and reflective observation. These learners are motivated to discover the relevancy or why of a situation. They like to reason from concrete, specific information and to explore what a system has to offer. They prefer to have information presented to them in a detailed, systematic, reasoned manner. Instructional methods that suit Divergers include lecture method, focusing on specifics such as the strengths, weaknesses and uses of a system. Hands-on exploration of a system. The instructor would be best to mingle with the learners, answering questions and making suggestions. Ready reference guides provide handy, organised summaries for this kind of learner. It is about feeling and watching. The Assimilator is placed between reflective observation and abstract conceptualisation. These learners are motivated to answer the question, what is there to know? They like the accurate, organised delivery of information, and they tend to respect the expert's knowledge. They aren't that comfortable randomly exploring a system, and they like to get the right answer to the problem. Instructional methods that suit assimilators include lecture method or video-audio presentation, followed by a demonstration. Exploration of a subject in a lab, followed by a prepared tutorial which they will probably stick to quite closely and for which answers should be provided. These learners are perhaps less instructor-intensive than some other learning styles. They will carefully follow prepared exercises. It is about watching and thinking. The Converger is placed between abstract conceptualization and active experimentation. These learners are motivated to discover the relevancy or the how of a situation. Application and usefulness of information is increased by understanding detailed information about the system's operation. Instructional methods that suit Convergers include computer-assisted instruction is a possibility. Problem sets or workbooks can be provided for learners to explore. Instruction should be interactive, not passive. It is about doing and thinking. The Accommodator is placed between active experimentation and concrete experience. These learners are motivated by the question, what would happen if I did this? They look for significance in the learning experience and consider what they can do and what others have done previously. These learners are good with complexity and are able to see relationships among aspects of a system. These teaching methods would work well for an accommodator. Anything that encourages independent discovery is probably the most desirable. Accommodators prefer to be active participants in their learning. The instructors working with this type of student might expect devil's advocate type questions such as what if and why not. It is about doing and feeling. As each learner type is based on a combination of the 4 experiential learning concepts, Kolb's theory can be useful for leaders to gain a better understanding of their employees' learning preferences within their organisations and help facilitate the overall learning process. For instance, convergers and accommodators might excel at hands-on, time-sensitive projects that require strong initiative and the ability to think on one's feet to make quick decisions and meet short-term goals. On the other hand, divergers and assimilators could be more suited for tasks requiring strong analytical and critical thinking skills, extensive planning, and a focus on long-term goals. Remember, when your employees need new knowledge, you cannot transfer your favourite style to others. We shall now review 2 examples of the use of the model. You want to order and install new machines into the production line. You have a lot of experienced employees and you are not in a hurry. You find a small team of experienced employees who are divergers. They can, as a team, bring the task from concrete experience to reflective observation. You now have many observations and pieces of information about different possibilities for changing your production line and other machines you can order. You then find assimilators in your organisation. They bring your process from reflective observation to abstract conceptualisation. They have a talent for pulling in a number of different observations and thoughts about the production line and machines into an integrated whole. In the next phase, you bring in the convergers. They will bring you from abstract conceptualization to active experimentation. They emphasize applying ideas and solving problems about your different choices of changing your production line and ordering new machines. They will find practical applications. In the last phase, you will use employees that are accommodators. They will bring you from active experimentation to concrete experience. They will use trial and error rather than thought and reflection when changing your production line with the new machines. They solve problems in an intuitive way, such as discovery learning. You can most likely not use the same employees throughout the process. Most people have a preferred learning style and one they have a tough time with. In our second example, you want to learn a new management skill. You want to be a coach. Depending on your preferred learning style, you may enter the learning cycle at any point. You will best learn the new task if you practice all 4 modes. Concrete experience. Having a coach guide you in coaching someone else. reflective observation, observing how other people coach. Abstract conceptualisation, reading articles to find out the pros and cons of different methods. Active experimentation, using your people skills with what you have learned to achieve your coaching style. Let us now consider a criticism of the model. Kolb's learning cycle is a picture of the inner psychic structure of the learning process. Kolb only works with the cognitive dimension of learning and does not consider the psychodynamic and societal dimension. There is no hint about when to shift between the different learning styles and the difficulties in shifting. The model is excellent. It provides a holistic model of the learning process and is a multilinear model of adult development, both of which are consistent with what we know about how we naturally learn, grow, and develop.